Once again, it's more about the person than it is the experience a lot of times, because we understand that you're in college and you might not have had a job so far. You're studying, you're doing different things. We understand that. We want to talk to you. We want to see what's out there, who's offering what, what type of talent pool can we pull from. And that's what we look for on our side.
Everyone is individual, and sometimes there are experiences that don't allow you to have an internship. I can tell you that some internships are not paid, and some people who are putting themselves through school cannot afford to go a summer without an internship. Should you be penalized for that? At Sewell, we don't believe so. I think the hard work that you do to pay for college helps me see where your priorities are. And I think that everybody's individual. So whatever your experiences are, whatever your GPA may be, as long as you have a good balanced picture of an individual, if I say your GPA is a 1.9 and it's because you're eating Cheetos in front of the television, that's a totally different story than a lower GPA because you have to put yourself through school and you have 4 jobs and what have you. So there's a balance of all those things. So don't be discouraged if you don't have the ideal resume. We look at the individual and all those attributes that you heard us say, it's confidence, shoulders back, firm handshake, knowledge about requisitions that we have available. All of those things make you you, and we want to learn about that. So please don't feel pressured that, oh, my resume's not good enough, I'm not going to talk to them.
I would say that at all in relation to internships, most of our district managers that are hired have not been an official intern somewhere. Most of them have had jobs doing other things. And truthfully, when you get into the business world nowadays is more about multitasking, handling lots of tasks, and as we've seen, downsizing and those types of things in a lot of companies, it's become a process of, okay, we've lost this position, so let's redistribute the work among these other people. Companies today are looking for people that can handle a lot of responsibility and balance things. So you may not have an internship with, say, a large pharmaceutical company, but maybe you worked at the Gap or you worked at McDonald's and you were a shift manager, you were a key holder, you had some responsibility. That speaks volumes. A lot of people can work somewhere for 10 weeks for a stated amount of money and check off the boxes and do projects. It takes a very special person to be a leader in the real world with real people, with real employees. So I really encourage you, if you don't get an internship, maybe think about finding a regular job and seeing how you can excel. It'll give you a lot of information to discuss real life scenarios in an interview situation.
I would add to that because in fraud jobs, there are opportunities for employers to post part-time positions, some co-op opportunities. So there may not be, there may be employers who don't necessarily have structured internship programs that they, regularly recruit from. There may be some companies that need some extra help, and you can work part-time and balance your studies with work, and that's experience as well. So that's valuable, and consider those options. If you can't, or fit in an entire internship with your curriculum, or you just can't secure.
We also look at research projects as well. If you have a chance to work with a professor, work with graduate students, if you can't do an internship, definitely doing research projects, or if you're fraternities, sororities, or different organizations on campus. We also look at those activities as well. If you're doing a fundraising campaign and you've been able to help increase the fundraising 20% over the previous year, something like that, we definitely take those things into account as well.
Sure, right now, I can say in the automotive industry, it's not the best place in the world, but I know we have a great story for it. So I encourage you to ask those questions and ask us, hey, how are you doing in this automotive industry right now? I think those are important and relevant things to ask, and we certainly want to share those stories as well. I think it's a good way for you to also understand how stable the organization may be. So being up on current events and what's going on in the world, and being able to relate those back to the industry that you're in for, I think it's very helpful. It's indicative of how stable that company is or how real the opportunity is.
I think also if you're asking those questions, it shows that you're genuinely interested in that company. A lot of times I talk to people and I can tell if I'm in their top 5 to 10 companies they want to talk to just from the conversation, and that's really important to kind of know that, because if I don't feel like you're genuinely interested in it and have my company in the top 10, even if I do get an interview, you're probably not going to choose me anyway. So I try to really focus on the energy and what you're bringing to the table.
I would also let you guys know, this is your time to interview us. Do your research on our company. See how energetic we are. If we're standing around twiddling our thumbs, not answering your questions, looking around, and the same things we expect out of you, you don't see out of us, do you really want to work for us? I mean, that's something you need to figure out yourself, because you're going to have a lot of options here. 110 employers are going to be at this next career fair. There are a lot of options. There are a lot of people to see. In your top 10, you might get to talk to each one of them. And you'll be like, wow, they sent these people here for me to talk to? Really? You know, do I want to work for them or not? You know, and that's something you have to look at, because the job might not be as glamorous as you think it is sometimes.